quick shortcut for adding equations, Control equals. It might be Alt equals on Windows, but on Mac it is Control equals, and that will instantly add an equation. You've obviously got this big list here of all the symbols and stuff you can add, but it's so much quicker if you just add the symbols yourself. One thing that saves a ton of time is backslash, and then you type what you're looking for, theta backslash times 1.32, for example. Another thing is you don't need to worry about adding indices, to the power of 2. You just write little hat 2, there you go. And then, for example, if I do fraction and then press space, it will automatically add that fraction in a nice way. So, for example, square root, row, and then underscore will add it as a subscript. So that's also really useful. So the fluid's density, that's a really nice way to do equations quickly. Let's say you're trying to line up all your equations nicely. So what you can do is if you press Shift Enter, I can then add another equation, and it will make sure to line them up on the left side. And so you can do that for a few equations. So that's really useful. Another really useful thing that I feel like most people don't realize is numbering equations, and this one I only discovered it last year, I believe. You've made your equation, so make sure you're inside the equation box, not outside. So I'm inside the equation box. If you put in a £, hashtag, same thing, and then whatever you type after that hashtag will be right aligned. So I'll show you. 1, I now press Enter, and so you can see perfect equation numbering. If I go Control equals to add an equation, I can say theta equals dx over dy. You can see it aligns it nicely. And another useful thing, for example, if you do backslash right arrow, it does a single arrow like that. But if you do backslash and then capital right arrow, it does the sort of equivalency arrow. You can get capital Greek letters. So, if you do pi, you get pi. But if you write capital PI, you get capital pi. Theta or theta. So you can see you can get capital Greek letters. We add the hashtag, and then I would add 2, for example. Enter. And so you can see now we've added the equation numbers, and the one downside to this way of doing it is these aren't live, so they're not live fields, but it's the only way I've found that works consistently across all computers. There are other ways where you can make equations, you can reference equations as you can with figures, but unfortunately that will only work on the computer you set it up on. And so if you're working on different computers in the library, you'll have to set it up every time you want to do it. This is just a lot more consistent.